Hi guys, we're here again from LostKingdom.net on location, and this time we want to talk to you about the reuse of buildings and how you might work that into your campaigns and your stories. And we have a perfect example right here. This is the Rotunda. So you can see here the Rotunda from the south side, and this would have been the grand entrance for it. We are in Thessaloniki, which was a major powerhouse during the Roman Empire, and this was built by Galerius in about 300 as a mausoleum, a massive mausoleum. Now it was integrated into the triumphal architecture of Thessaloniki, and this whole space down here all the way along the street would have been one massive triumphal walkway flanked with columns either side, and culminating on the one side with a rotunda, and on the other side with, you can just see at the end of the street, a triumphal Roman arch. They did so love to build them. Not that much of it survived. You've got one wall and a small amount of the arch there, but you could imagine that this would have been an incredibly impressive imperial piece of architecture that would scream of the power of the empire. So between 4 and 6 AD, the Rotunda was converted into a church. Christianity was rampant throughout Europe, and it was a massive building in the centre. Obviously, they wanted to make it into a symbol of their current religion, Christianity. So what do you need for a church? Most importantly, you need an altar at the east side. But the Rotunda is round. So instead of messing around on the inside, they broke through one wall in the east, and you can see back there, this is a beautiful flying buttress that they've used to support the extension they made, and that extension holds the altar. So there was more adaptation to turn the Rotunda into a church. They built a big walkway, which is what we're standing on now, a kind of cloister that circled the outside of the Rotunda, the circular structure. And outside of that, they built various other things that they needed to turn it into a Christian place of worship. So there's a chapel that was originally a place of worship and then became a burial chapel. You've got next to it a square antechapel, which is the place where those who hadn't been baptised could sit and listen to the service when they couldn't go into the church itself because they hadn't been baptised, they hadn't been anointed. And then finally on the other side there's a circular chapel which seems to have had some kind of baptismal font in it. The other thing that you'll notice when you look down into the ruins of the Christian additions to the Rotunda is that they're on a lower level. You're looking down at them. And that's because street level was previously a lot lower than it is now. And that's something to consider when we think about the impact of the Rotunda as a building. It was up, you looked up to it, you walked up to it, and it made a massive psychological impact, or it must have made a massive psychological impact on those who looked at it as something that was massive, that was huge and vast and tall, just the highest thing around. It would have been a symbol of power. And in about 1500, during the Ottoman occupation of Thessaloniki, they certainly thought that. Originally they left it alone, but gradually they decided that they would turn it into a mosque, and you can see they built themselves a minaret. And this was the next stage of the conversion of the Rotunda, this Turkish stage where it had gone from being a church converted with a minaret, and next to it you can see a fountain. Further additions to this structure for reuse, for repurposing of something that was very, very powerful and very, very important and very impactful on those around it. So what you can see here is the west entrance of the Rotunda, and this would have directly approached the altar in its Christian state. Now, what's particularly interesting about this for us is the doorway. You can see above the stone arch, there's Arabic script, and that's of course from the conversion into a mosque. And then above that, you can see Ios Dimitrios, that's the icon there in the iconography, and the date 1912. This is the final conversion of the Rotunda. In 1912, the Turks leave Thessaloniki, it's converted back into a Christian city, and this great symbol of power is immediately turned back into a church again. So why is this interesting for us specifically? Obviously the Rotunda has an amazing history, but for us it's a great lesson in incorporating history and different civilizations within your stories, within your RPG campaigns, whatever you're writing. A building of this importance would be changed by those who occupy the city. It might be damaged during time and then rebuilt in a more modern style. And so what you get within a building is a patchwork that represents the recorded history of the place. And it's a great way to allude to history and allude to previous civilizations without giving a big history lesson or a big expositional dump. It's a great way to show rather than telling. So that's the Rotunda pretty much. There's more to see inside, so if you happen to be in Thessaloniki, come see it. Entry is €1 as of 2017, so you get a lot of history for your money. That's all from us today at lostkingdom.net. If you like the video, don't forget to like it below, and subscribe to us on YouTube, and we'll see you soon. Bye!